Okay, so here is an update. It is now Tuesday the 12th. Tireman has had my vehicle since Monday the 4th. And this is an update to a video I haven't edited or uploaded yet because I was very angry, and I guess I kind of wanted to wait and see what happens. I don't know why I'm personally so angry about the situation. I know Tireman lied because, like I've stated, I checked the transmission dipstick and it was appropriately full. I mean, there was transmission fluid on the dipstick. The engine oil dipstick, however, was dry as all get out. There was not a drop of oil on it. So that confirmed what I saw with my own eyes, which was oil dripping down from just behind the radiator onto my frame and then just onto the ground, right there behind my left front tire. You know, this is my own eyes. I saw this shit. I saw it when I was at the gas station putting $10 of gas in. I came back from paying for the gas, came back to the vehicle to pump, and that's when I saw the drip, and that's when I checked the dipsticks after I put the gas in. That's how I confirmed, okay, it's an engine oil problem, not transmission, thank God, because, yeah, you start talking about repairing a transmission on a 4x4 SUV, you're talking a shitload of money, because it is a 4x4 after all. So it doesn't have your conventional transmission. But what makes me angry is the Veterans Service Commission has decided to go against their own damn protocol. Their protocol requires that I take the vehicle to 2 separate automotive repair places. And then from those 2 estimates they get sent, they decide who they're going to go with. Because obviously you want to go with the cheaper option, right? And that whole discussion that Chad, who's the guy at Tireman that works with the Veterans Service Commission to help, he had stated he was going to call the Veterans Service Commission and see if they would go ahead and approve the repair so he can go ahead and get it fixed. Blah! And like I stated in the previous video, I called back the Veterans Service Commission that next morning before they could, at least I assumed, because I started ringing them up at 8:30 when they opened. Spoke to Charles, who's the lead investigator who is working with me on this case. It's a case to them. And told them what was going on and that this was all BS, that there was not a problem with my transmission. When I had spoken to the guy on the phone, he had mentioned all these maintenance things that hadn't been done that need to be done. You've got the transmission fluid leak, you've got a radiator leak, you have an exhaust issue. And not once did this guy touch on the most obvious problem, which was the oil leak. Never mentioned the oil once. He mentioned everything else but. And the oil issue is the reason I went to the Veterans Service Commission in the first place, because I knew I couldn't afford to do anything at this time because I just got done paying off for a wheel hub assembly replacement job. So just I think Saturday, yesterday, Monday. My days are mixed up because I got a lot on my mind, so I'm not registering days very well right now. I got too much going through this brain bucket. But my wife called yesterday. She called Tireman and asked about the status on the expedition. And she was saying, yeah, it's under blah, blah. She brought up my name, and I'm like, no. It's not going to be filed under my name. It's going to be filed under the Veterans Service Commission because they're the ones that are going to be paying for the repair. The guy brought up the info, and he said to her, it looks like we got the vehicle in time, but we won't know for sure until tomorrow, which is now today, when we get the parts. Now, the funny thing is, I have mentioned that Veterans Service Commission went against their own protocol. Meaning somebody from the VSC called me, and it wasn't Charles, the lead investigator. It was somebody else, I think, who was higher up, and told me, boom, right now your current estimated repair cost is $4,300. Well, that goes well beyond what I could get done at Midas. And he said what they're going to do is drop the oil pan, or the pan for the transmission, and see if there's any shavings in it. And they're going to go ahead and replace the transmission cooling lines. But if there are any shavings in the pan, then you're going to have your transmission fixed, and we cannot afford that. So in a nutshell, I would be out of the vehicle and have to be on the search for a new one. With all the debt that I currently have, I've already been looking. I found a 2003 Ford Expedition, which looks to be in better shape than my 2006. Well, my 2006 is actually in good shape. The interior's clean, but I've got rust spots now coming through on the rear wheel wells, which weren't there when I got it back in 2014. But, you know, it was in Michigan. But they only want like $5,000 for the vehicle. I paid $14,000 for the one I've got. And this one for $5,000 actually has a sunroof in it. But the only thing is, it's got 124,000 miles on it. And I'm like, well, you know what? People freak out over mileage. But if you take it in and get oil changes and all that shit, it'll help keep the engine maintained and in excellent performance. Because believe it or not, this 2006 that we got, it only had 69,000 miles on it when we bought it. And now it's just over almost, I want to say it's close to 90K right now. And they say you really don't start experiencing engine issues until about 150K miles. But, you know, I'll take a 2003 with a little more mileage on it, as long as it looks good, it runs good, and I'm fine with that. It's got the same engine in it that my current vehicle has, an 8-cylinder, 5.4 liter single overhead cam. But it upsets me that Veterans Commission they went ahead and told them to do those repairs, and if the transmission's messed up and the transmission needs repairs, then we can't help you, and you're basically out of the vehicle. But my mindset is, okay, Tireman is very shady as fuck. In my eyes, I know they're liars. There was never a transmission leak at all, because there's no transmission fluid on the ground in my parking spot, just engine oil. The dipstick, pulling the transmission dipstick, was also proof, because there was transmission fluid in there. The engine oil, not so much, it was gone. So, but I'm thinking to myself, this is how Tireman's rolling. They're spinning this narrative that, well, they told Veterans Service Commission that the vehicle was driven to their shop with no transmission fluid in it, which is a bold-faced fucking lie. And believe me, when the repairs are completed and I go to pick up my vehicle, I'm going to have words with Chad, and I'm going to tell him, you're a fucking lying piece of shit, because I know goddamn good and well there was nothing wrong with the transmission. And when I called you, all you told me was this, and this, but you never mentioned the issue that I verified with my own eyes. You never said anything about the oil leak, which is what brought this vehicle here in the first place. You fucked me up the ass. You lied to the Veterans Service Commission because you wanted that money. Because my thought process is, okay, they're going to go ahead, this guy from the Veterans Service Commission, who, again, was not the lead investigator that I've been talking to get this going. It was somebody higher up. Because he said, I'm going to go ahead and let them do this work on the transmission and see where it stands from there. If it's damaged, we can't help you. Tireman wants that whole 4,300. So they spun this whole dramatic story that the transmission could be in bad shape, blah, 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 blah. But they're only going to get paid for replacing the tranny cooling lines and dropping that pan to see if there's any shavings from the transmission in the pan. Plus, the guy telling my wife yesterday, oh, it looks like we got it just in time, but we won't know for sure until tomorrow when we get the parts in, which that's today. So they're probably working on my vehicle now. Then they're supposed to report back to the Veterans Service Commission and tell them, which I assume they're going to say, the transmission's good to go. It was just, it was just a leak, which is non-existent. I've already proven that point, but no one's listening to me. I should have fucking took pictures. So once that's done, the gentleman from VSC who called me, he said if there's no problems with the transmission, then we're going to have to go before the board to get an approval since it's beyond $2,000 for your repairs. But once that's done and it gets approved, then we'll authorize them to complete the rest of the repairs, which I don't know. They said, well, we have the estimate. We know exactly what's wrong with your car. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself when he says this, and I guarantee 50% of what's on that estimate's bullshit. Because that's how Tireman is. And I don't know why I'm so upset, because I'm not the one paying for it. The Veterans Service Commission is paying for the repair. I'm just pissed off because I know they're lying their fucking asses off to get more money. I know it. But I can't prove it. I didn't take any pictures. The only proof I could actually give them is for them to come out here and look at my parking space, and you will see there's no transmission fluid, but there's oil. I even told them, I pulled the transmission dipstick, and it was covered in transmission fluid. It was fine. It's the oil. I saw the oil leaking out with my own eyes. And not once did Tireman bring that up. They never mentioned an oil leak. So today, I guess it's going to get fixed, and I assume they're going to call Veterans Service Commission and tell them, transmission's great! And then I got to wait, because I think today, Tuesday, is when the board comes together for things like this, and so I'm going to have to wait until the next board meeting, and I'm pretty sure the Veterans Service Commission will call me to have me come in and go before the board and explain to them why I need these $4,300 repairs, which that's easy enough. It's the only vehicle we have. We cannot afford to get another one. I've got appointments I have to go to. My wife has appointments she has to go to, and my stepson has appointments he has to go to. Between the three of us, we got a calendar, and we have all our appointments. So I've got an appointment this Friday with the pharmacy at the Center for Health, and I'm supposed to be bringing my glucose meter with me so she can go over my blood glucose levels, because it's got a log that it maintains every time I do this. I don't know if I'm going to get there. I don't know if we're going to have the vehicle back. Wow. Traffic's just rolling down the road. Oh, it's a salt truck. We got snowed last night. We got about 5 inches last night, and it didn't quit until after midnight. So yes, it's a wonderful white winter wonderland outside, but it's not snowing right now. But I know there's no way I'm going to have the vehicle back before this Friday, because I've got to go before the board. But yeah, I'm upset because they're taking advantage of the system to get more money. And look at Kendall. She's moving around on the bed trying to get comfortable, ain't you? Oh no, she's looking out the window. Her curiosity has been piqued. But it makes me mad because I know they're lying and that they're just trying to get more money out of the Veterans Service Commission. It wouldn't matter if I had taken it to them and I was responsible for the payment. They still would have done the same thing to me. That's how they work. But believe me, when I get my vehicle back, I'm going to have words with them. And unfortunately, now that I'm aware that the Veterans Service Commission uses Tireman and Mighty, which Mighty I have no experience with. My vehicle never made it to them. They're going to go ahead and let Tireman do it without the second estimate. which blows my mind. It's against their own protocol. But hey, that's why I assumed the gentleman that called from the Veterans Service Commission was higher up in the chain because of what he said. We're going to go ahead and let them do this much, and then we'll go from there afterwards. So it just upsets me they're lying through their fucking teeth. So yeah, when I do get my vehicle back, I'm going to let Tireman have it. I'm going to tell him, you're all full of shit because there's never a transmission leak. You can tell me there was, but the fact that I pulled the dipstick and it was fine, and the fact that there's no transmission fluid in the parking space where I park, I know you're fucking lying. I can't prove it to the Veterans Service Commission, but I can guarantee you that I will tell everyone I know not to come to you for shit. And I'm also going to blast you on YouTube, which will get around to more people. And no one, you know, I'm gonna hurt you as much as I can because you lie. If you could be honest and upfront about everything, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But I know there was no transmission leak. I know it. So I know you're lying, and that's what turns me off. And you will not be getting any of my business ever again. And I certainly will not go to VSC for vehicle repairs in the future ever again, knowing that they use Tireman. Because I'm not letting them touch my vehicle again. They fucked it the first time over just 4 new tires. And it cost me, how much did it cost me? It cost me $206 for 2 brand new rear quick struts. And fortunately, my vehicle was still under warranty at the time. And it was an awesome warranty. I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. I had a 0 deductible. And Midas knew how to work the warranty, and they fixed a lot of things on my vehicle that weren't even covered, including this replacement of the struts, because that wasn't under the warranty either. So Tireman cost me some money. So yeah, I'm just upset because I know the Veterans Service Commission is being taken advantage of because they were given an estimate, which, like I stated, is probably 50% bullshit. Probably 25%, kinda, and maybe 25% on the nose. But the fact that they never mentioned the oil leak at all, that's got me scratching my head. That was the problem I witnessed with my own eyes. And you never mentioned it. Ever. You talked about the radiator, the exhaust system, the transmission. But you never mentioned the engine or the lack of oil in it. You know, I wish I could see the estimate. Because if I could see the estimate, I'd pull out my pen and I'd go down that list and check off bullshit, 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 bullshit. Oh, this is a problem. And I even admitted that probably the ball joints and tie rods might need servicing or replacement. I don't know if that's on the fucking list at all. They never mentioned that either. But yeah, this is like the 3rd video I've done about this. And like I said, the 2nd video I did, I haven't even edited and uploaded yet. So I think I'm going to spend a little time and go ahead and get those, well, get that video and this video edited and uploaded. It's very infuriating, especially when apparently you're the only one that knows the truth about the situation and can call them on their bullshit. But VSC isn't listening to what I've got to say. All they care about is what's on the estimate. Which, from my point of view, they could put down on that estimate that there's a fucking winged pig stuck in my EFI and it's got to be removed. And they believe it as long as it was on the goddamn estimate. That's where I'm coming from. So I know the transmission's not fucked up, and I know they're playing it to make it seem like there's a greater threat to your transmission than there actually is, so they can get more money. Because they want that $4,300. Because if they come out and say the transmission is trashed and has to be repaired, they're not going to get any more money, and I'm going to have to go in search of a new vehicle. So I don't know how much they're paying them to do what little they're actually going to do to the transmission at this time, but it ain't going to be $4,300. So they're definitely going to come back and say it's fine. It was just, we fixed the leak, and there's no metal shrapnel in the pan. And then they'll go ahead and authorize them to complete the rest of the repairs, and they'll get their $4,300. I'll get my vehicle back, and I'm going to go the fuck off on them at the fucking shop. Because that's me. I call people on their bullshit to their face. I'm going to blast them in the shop. There was no problem with my transmission. I know this. You know this. Unfortunately, I could not convince the Veterans Service Commission of this. Because I'm a firm believer, if there's a transmission leak, it would be on the ground. But there is none. So you fabricated that, and you actually went to the length of draining it all out, though. Obviously, they drained it out because I couldn't drive off that night when I tried to take it to Mighty. And the response, oh, your transmission fluid must have leaked out completely then. Oh, man. I wanted to say fuck you and punch that dude right in the face, right there. And he was kind of a little dude. I probably would have broke his little fucking stick twig ass in half. But I would have probably wound up in jail. And they probably would have done something else to my vehicle and pretty much left me without one. So I'm going to wait until everything's complete, paid for, and I got my key in my hand. And then I'm going to tell them off. But as for right now, wherever you may live within the United States, if there's a Tireman in your area, don't take your vehicle to them. Take it to anyone other than Tireman. Because Tireman is shady. They're greedy, and they're all a bunch of fucking liars. Every last fucking one of them. I don't care if there's people in there that aren't liars, but if they're not stepping up to the plate to say, oh no, that's wrong, then you're condoning it, and that thereby makes you a liar too. Because if you stand back and you know the truth and you do nothing, you're just as guilty. So anyway, stay away from Tireman. I'm telling you, I'm going through this right now. I know the truth. Tireman knows the truth. But they're pulling the wool over the Veterans Service Commission's eyes. They're only going to believe what's on the estimate. Even though they've only gotten one, they're going to go ahead and let Tireman do it all without a second estimate. That's bullshit. But anyway, I'm going to let you go for now. I will give you an update when this is all done. Hopefully it's all done before next month because, like I said, I've got a dental surgery coming up next month. That's going to be fun. And then on the 12th of that month, I've got to go and see my primary care physician, and I'm not going to have any teeth in my head. And I will be 8 days into the healing process. I'm just sitting here thinking about all the food I'm not going to be able to eat. I mean, I've got soup lined up. I've got canned ravioli and shit like that. Stuff I know I can gum to death. There's plenty of instant mashed potatoes. I've got ramen noodles. Yeah, I can work that too. I'm probably gonna have to bust up the noodles completely and then just drink it like a soup. I mean, that shit's really good though. I love ramen noodles. But yeah, that's. I will do another video once I know what exactly is going on. When I finally go before the board, I will do a video and let you know what the board had to say and how that works out, because this is actually my first time going to the Veterans Service Commission for a vehicle repair. When we first got into this apartment, we had some furniture, but no dining room, no living room. So, God, and the things you have to do. It's an unbelievable set of hoops to register with the Veterans Service Commission. Obviously, you have to be a veteran. We had to provide tons of documentation, and the only reason why this has gone so quickly is because we recently had to do a recertification, which meant we had to get non-filing documents from the IRS for everybody in the apartment. So we had to go downtown. And that was just prior to this oil leak, which I'm glad either didn't happen at that time or whatever, because it's like we wouldn't have been able to go downtown without the engine season up if if it had occurred before then. But the oil leak occurred after we had made our 2 trips downtown, because they didn't tell us we had to have the non-filing for all 3 of us. Then we had to provide 30 days worth of bank statements. And then because she had PayPal showing up on her bank account, we had to provide 30 days worth of PayPal account information, which mine is completely blank. I've got a PayPal, but I've never used it. However, my wife does these surveys, and they pay her through PayPal. So that had to be brought up. Wonderful. And all these other wonderful little documents, proof of my benefits, proof of Ryan's SSI, and blah, da, 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 da. So when the vehicle repair came about, all I had to do was provide 3 documents. Title of memorandum, proof of insurance, proof of registration. We got it. We're good. But yeah, the Veterans Service Commission has helped us immensely. They got us a dining table with 4 chairs. They got us a couch. They got us a recliner. They got us a coffee table. They got us 2 end tables and 2 lamps. And most recently, they got us a queen-size bed because we had to throw our bed out. We have no idea how the hell this happened, but we got bed bugs. I didn't realize, holy crap, I didn't totally freak out. But once I knew what they were, and we pulled the bed away from the wall, the entire box spring in the back of that mattress was covered in them. And I'm like, where the fuck did these come from? So I threw away the mattress, I threw away the box spring, I threw away the bed frame. I was very adamant. Once we pick this up, it's got to go from the bedroom, out the door, to the dumpster. We cannot set it down. We cannot brush it up against anything, or we're going to have those bitches. From what we can tell, it was limited to our room only. We were sleeping in the living room for like 2 months on the couch and the recliner. And we had to pay $600 for Terminex to come through here. And then we had to wait and wait and wait for Terminex to keep coming back, and then finally give us a thing saying that there are no more bed bugs. And then we could take all of that to the Veterans Service Commission. They got us a new bed, which is a very comfortable bed. We haven't seen any more. But this is the first time we've gone to them for a vehicle repair. I've always found a way to get it done on my own. But this time, it being an engine oil issue, I thought it was going to be cost prohibitive for me to try and take it on. I just wish it wasn't Tireman. So anyway, I will let you know what happens. I'll let you know what state the vehicle is in when it's all done. Hopefully they're as good at fixing things as they are at creating non-existent problems. So, with that being said, I'm out of here. Peace!